I asked an AI a simple question. How many people in the world have problems? Everyone. If everyone has problems, why some people live happier while others live miserably? This is exactly what we will be discussing in today's video. Imagine a red button right in front of you. If you press it, every single one of your problems will disappear instantly and forever. Would you press it? Almost everyone would just smash that button. But here's the truth they don't tell you in self-help books. Pressing that button would be the worst mistake of your life. Because a life without problems is not a paradise, it's actually a prison. And there is one ancient story that proves it. About 2,500 years ago, a prince was born inside a palace, behind walls so high he could never see the outside world. His father wanted to protect him from suffering and sadness and pain and just everything. So he provided him with everything and saved him from everything so he could stay inside that palace. And for 29 years, he lived the life we all wish for. A life with zero problems. And yet, he felt completely empty. One day, he snuck out of the palace and saw something he never seen before. An old man, a sick man, a corpse. He basically saw three things that his dad had been hidden from him his entire life. The prince was terrified and he ran back to the palace. But after all, that palace that felt one day like a paradise now feels like a cage he just left. He abandoned the life that we all wish for. And for the next 6 years of his life, he starved and suffered and just pushed himself to the very edge of the human suffering. But why? The question is, why would a person do this? Why would a person live a perfect life just to suffer? But before I answer that question, I realized that the opposite of pleasure is not pain. The opposite of pleasure is numbness. Yes, the opposite of pleasure is not pain. The opposite of pleasure is numbness. By the way, that prince later became known as the Buddha. And what he realized changes how we understand happiness. Suffering isn't the enemy of happiness. Meaningless comfort is. Now look at the world we live in today. Didn't we build our own version of the prince's palace? Food delivered to our doors and endless entertainment in our pockets. Algorithms designed to remove every moment of discomfort. And yet, something strange is happening. Anxiety is rising and depression is just everywhere. And many people feel emptier than ever. But why? What is the reason behind this? Why does it seem paradoxically not working? Basically, when you remove the struggle, you remove the meaning. And when you remove the meaning, you just removed everything. In fact, Mark Manson says, who you are is defined by what you are willing to struggle for. Again, who you are is defined by what you are willing to struggle for. We know that struggles equal pain, but we all think that pain is bad and not good, but actually pain is really good. Pain actually has one single job. It signals that something needs to change. Touch a hot stove, pain tells you to move your hand. Pain points toward growth. But unfortunately, today we try to numb the compass. We want the body without the workout, the wealth without the risks, the relationship and love without the vulnerability. But as Mark Manson says, you can't win if you are not willing to lose. The prince chose suffering over numbness, not because suffering is good, but because suffering that moves us forward is meaningful. And that leads to the most realization of all. You cannot choose a life without problems. That option does not exist, but you can choose which problems you go to bed with. The sauce of this life is not having a life without problems, but actually having a life full of the problems that you do love solving. Because happiness is the process of solving the problems you do love solving. And believe it or not, every dream comes with a receipt. And that receipt, my friend, is the struggle. Unfortunately, most of us are not willing to pay the receipt. Most of us are not willing to struggle. And believe it or not, if you are not choosing your own problems, life is choosing them for you. So you better choose your problems, because the only difference between those who live happier and those who are miserable is not that one of them does not have problems. It is mainly the happy people chose their own problems, while the miserable one let life choose for them. With that said, I want you to take one step outside of your palace and choose your own struggle. Because having the right problem can change the entire trajectory of your life. Honestly, would you still press that button? If you found this video helpful, comment the word worthy below, and see you in the next one.